Good day, podcast community. Pete Kane here with Why Do We Offer a Free Podcast? And I'm going to give you 3 reasons why we invite you on our show. First off, you got to think of the time we're in. We're in uncharted territories. People buy from people. And that's this social media amplification of years and years of conditioning that. But we don't buy from companies, we buy from people. People have stories, people emotionally connect with people. So you have to think of it as I don't want to promote my company, promote you. The magic is in you. You are the magic, and anything is possible. So you look at the world differently than you did 5 years ago because today it's about you. It's about your story, about you being out there creating a digital asset. That's what a podcast is. It's a conversation about your story. And when people meet you, they search you. And if they see nothing, they don't go any further. They have to know, like, and trust you. We've done numerous podcasts on the 7-Eleven 4. That is the new way that people get to know you, like you, and trust you through your digital profile. So when you do a podcast and we feature you and we talk about your story, we're not selling your company, we're sharing your story. So that's number 1. Number 2, I don't know, this is for my crowd in the US and maybe Canada. Costco. It's a value warehouse. The quantities are big, real big. Like if you don't like it, you're going to throw it away. So what do? They give you samples of it, sample tables. Try it. You might like it. And if you like it, you might buy it. So they put a lot of sample tables out there. And then when you do like it, you buy it. So in podcasting, people have to experience, they have to sample it. So that's why we'll do plenty of podcasts for free. We'll even do it like you could be on free podcasts for 5 months, let's say. Then all of a sudden, we've created all this digital content, your story, it's out there. We're building your profile, and you're saying, why would you do it for free? Well, when you're ready to make that buying decision on this versus that, and you've gotten so much value from our community by putting your story out there, your podcast out there, and you see that it's not as hard as you think, and we do all of it for you, then that becomes the avenue for you to shift to being a key person of influence. People buy from people, but you got to see it. It's not like you wake up one day and think, well, if I shifted my business to podcasting, I'm going to do so much better. You don't know. You got to try it. You got to sample it. You got to understand it. Daniel Priestley, who's one of my mentors, said it takes on average about 5 months for people to really grasp it. So do some do it sooner? Some takes a year. But we don't mind going on the journey with you because you are the magic. And we know that this year is the most powerful year in our lifetime. And being visible, having a digital profile, because we went from a local business to a global business, it seemed like overnight. People talk about it, and we've talked about a digital revolution. So the industrial revolution's gone. Now we're making all these changes in how we perceive business, what we look for. Look at the people. When you think of people, think of Oprah. Do you know all the companies that she owns? Nope. Unless you her best friend. And maybe you don't even know then. but you know Oprah. Joe Rogan, I bet he owns a dozen companies or more. But you know Joe Rogan. Daniel Priestley, I think he has 8 companies. Do you know all the companies he represents? Probably not, but you know him. If you're an online person and you know that key person of influence is the future, and you've read his book and you've listened to his podcast and you've gotten to know him, Brendon Burchard. I was just at a meeting with a friend of mine, and he was telling me that he had just heard Ed Milet and Brendon Burchard on a podcast, and they mentioned Growth Day, and he commanded the room. Brian, good job, because he brought the energy. He moved around the room. He didn't just sit there and walk and talk emotionless. He commanded the room. He walked, he talked, he brought the energy, he brought the joy. And so I tell you that because he was saying to me, like, I want to do podcasting, but I've got I've got to pay for leads and stuff. And so I've got my money allocated. That's okay. Just go on the journey with us. When you get to the opportunity where you have to decide between A and B, and you now understand B and how podcast generates leads, creates cash flow, builds thriving communities, because the world is global and people are going to be looking online for you. And if they see you and they understand your story and they get to know you through your digital profile, the process of know, like, and trust starts to happen. So when we look at that, we look at 1, create a digital asset, which podcasting is. We also do online courses, but that's still a digital asset. Got to sample it before you can understand it and like it. And once you do, then you can make a choice whether you want to invest in this future. And 3, we build relationships, because on the podcast, I get to know you. I get to know about your story. Then it's easier for me to connect you to our community. And we also have a digital asset out there. So it's to our advantage to give away 90% for free. That's why I encourage people and why I invite people and why we invite people into our community, be on our podcast, because we have Podcast Academy. I'm going to probably invite you to be on another podcast or refer you to another person. The more you're telling your story, the more you're building your profile. And so when you look at, got a little gnat there, leads, cash flow, and thriving communities. That's the pillar of what we do. We generate leads, we create cash flow, we build thriving communities. And we do it because we use the relationship wheel. We help you build your key strategic team, because your network is the single biggest and most valuable asset. We help you do it intentionally. We help you to nurture it, because it is the goose that lays the golden egg. But if we're not doing it intentionally, building these people around you, so when you're going to your ideal prospect, solving their problems, not only with your service, but all the related services that can help your ideal prospect be better. So that's tactical versus strategic. We're strategic. When you're strategic, you're better. And it looks like this. We start building your team, key strategic partner team. So you look at 12 categories. These are categories that are relevant to your business. And you look at that. These are people you know, like, and trust, that you've done business with, that you reach out and engage with them on a podcast. Invite them on your podcast, because we do it as 3 people. You're working with us and you're inviting a person that could be on your team in this category. And you always want to have your 12 categories. And in your 12 categories, you have 3 in each one. First, these are your gold, or the ones easiest, because you're going to crawl first, then you're going to walk, and then you're going to run. So gold, silver, bronze, crawl, walk, run. When you build your 36, you are off to Mars. You're off to 10x in your business, because you're strategically building your team. Then when you're ready to really activate it, you're on the cover of this magazine. You are the key person of influence right here. And in here is your 20 out of your 30, 20 out of your 36 are in the magazine. They pay a little bit, but each person gets to be able to help each other. Givers gain. BNI, that's Ivan, his thing that he made famous. Givers gain. So much to the givers. Come into a relationship. What can I give? What can I give? So in this situation, you're collaborating with your partners in the magazine. Each person can be given out the magazine. So everybody's helping each other. You're on the cover. You're the central part of it. You pay a little bit more than they do. You're paying like $1,000, and they're paying $300 a month. But the magazine gets printed for you, and we take you through 12 weeks. 12 weeks of high performance coaching, where we talk to you and train you on clarity, on energy, on courage, on productivity, on influence. Then we work on the mastery part of that. So this is from Brendon Burchard, who's the highest paid in the industry. Him and Ed Mylett go back and forth with top 3 coaches of all time, because they add the most value. And when you look at that you're going to be spending time, look at it like, for those that are familiar with the term mastermind, it's your mastermind, but it's intentionally, because I want to give you this because it's so important. You can have all the passion and desire you want, but if you don't have design or a system, then you can be as excited as you want but if you don't have that design, that system. That's why we put you in this magazine, why we give you an asset, why you can order it from Amazon, as many copies. We give you a few copies, and then you can order more. You have somebody that's halfway across the United States, you can get it to them. So you can get these magazines in wherever you're going to make an impact, want to add value, massive value. Because you know how we talked about podcasting being a digital asset? This is a physical asset. Order it. So you can go to pkane.me/magazine. And if you're ready to do it, you can sign up. Then we teach you how to build your team. We teach you through a system, a design that we build around, and everybody benefits. But we teach you how to work together over those 12 weeks, and we teach you the 12 high performance habits, the 5 core. Again, first, clarity. Second, energy. Third, courage. Fourth, productivity. And fifth, influence. You master those, been proven, you'll crush the world. You will position yourself differently than somebody that doesn't intentionally master those. But we take you through 12 weeks. 12 weeks. Each week we get together with the group. You're on the cover. You're investing in yourself $1,000, a little bit less, but $1,000. And at the end, what's your outcome? You have a team of 20 people in the magazine that you can get in front of your ideal prospect. And you're bringing a team. Think of your strategic team to the presentation. And when you do that, and it's so important that you're able to understand that people buy from people. They don't buy from businesses, they buy from people. And when you look at that, and when you are on design and you have a system and you practice this 7-11-4, because you got to get your pitch right. Got to be short, just like TikTok. Your pitches got to be like TikTok, but shorter, 10 seconds. We generate leads, create cash flow, and build thriving communities. That's it. Now, if somebody doesn't ask me, I don't need to say anything more. I'm going to ask them about themselves. And then if they want to know, well, how do you generate leads? We do it through podcasting, publishing. And because we're now in a global economy, we think local, but act global, because that's the key. Digital. Hey, people are going to be listening to this across the world. So you have to be thinking globally. So when you look at this and you understand, if you order his book, which I recommend you do, and it takes you 2 hours to read it, that's 2 hours out of the 7. 7 hours. And I think I have the 7. No, let's see. Yeah, here it is. Roger Dunbar. He's famous. Daniel Priestley wrote the book, but he's quoting Robin Dunbar. Talks about the number of hours you need to interact with somebody before you care about them is about 7. So I read a book, takes it 2 hours. I listen to some podcasts. I do all these other things. And once I hit the 7 hours, then it's 11 buying signals. A buying signal could be assessment, could be listening to a webinar, could be listening to your podcast. Different things that give you in. Could be signing up for the magazine. We don't publish a magazine until we have the cover and the 20 supporting team, strategic team. Then we take you through 12 weeks of coaching and working together. Because when you come out of that, you're a well-oiled machine ready to tackle the world. But it's got to be, you got to have design. You got to have design. You can have all the excitement and passion in the world, but if you don't have a plan and you don't have a design, and that's why we put you in a magazine. It's the design, it's the asset that you share with people. You bring to a presentation. And they say that there's no such thing as solo entrepreneur. There isn't. It's a team. It should be team entrepreneur, because you don't do it alone. You do it with a team. I was just at a B&I meeting. There's probably 50, 60 people in that room working together, building relationship, keeping our ear out for other people. Givers gain. Givers gain. Serve people and you will be served. So if you're interested in that, great. We'd love to have you. If the time isn't right, but you're saying, you know what, I'm going to try that podcasting thing. Oops, no, it's not so right. Here we go. I want to be invited on your podcast. I want to fill out a little assessment. It gives me an idea what kind of questions I'm going to ask you, because I got to highlight your story. So I got to know you. So I do that, and you go into pk.me, fill out that short assessment, schedule it, and we'll have you as a guest on our podcast. Shine your story on the world and our local community and our global community, because I can connect you when I know your story. That's why we offer a free podcast. 90% of what we do is for free, because when you're ready to invest in yourself, you think of us. Same thing Google does. Most of their stuff is free, but they make their money because we're not a nonprofit. We are for profit, but we give you so much. So when you're ready to invest in yourself, we can be there for you. So think of yourself. And if you look at this, I want to give this is buying signals, because people buy stuff and it's not like they see it one time and they're ready to buy. They're making buying signals. They're giving you an idea they're interested. Very few people buy on the first interaction. They buy through a journey. Journey takes, in Daniel Priestley's mind, 5 months. So if people start with us on the journey, and then all of a sudden that part of their budget opens up and they want to put money towards something they've been doing and they're building, and now they're ready to invest in it, we're there for you. We're there to hold you by the hand, because we have a podcast academy. We have our magazine. That's our two main ones. But we also give you a masterclass. Masterclass is free. Again, free. Value. Always think give value. So if somebody takes our masterclass, that could be another buying signal, another interaction. And so that allows us, because once they see us on 4 different platforms, I'm talking to you, they listen to your podcast. They have seen you in the magazine, a book, and they're taking an assessment. Those are 4 different ones. Those are ours, but that's potentially you can be too. Because take the assessment, get on the podcast, book it, download, buy his book. I mean, we have our books too, but I'm just saying with Daniel Priestley, understanding this concept, 7-11-4, so critical. Magazine's a different platform. A book's a different platform. A podcast is a different platform. Assessment is a different platform. That way, we're giving you enough to make that journey with us. So I hope you will be a guest on our podcast, because instead of just having all that passion and energy, put a design to it. The design is our magazine. We give you the master class, and if this is something you want to take, go sign up for our magazine. Then once we build it out, we publish it for you. And then we train you, teach you through high performance coaching. Because let me give you one little thing, because I felt like this is real important for you to know. Here we go. What kind of 12-week journey are we taking you on? I'm a certified high performance coach. First week, it's high performance vocal points. Then the second week, it's clarity. Then it's energy. Then it's courage. Then it's productivity. Then it's influence. 7th week, we go into physiology mastery, then psychology mastery, then productivity mastery, persuasion mastery, purpose mastery, and then we top it off with a commitment to high performance. This is a journey. When you go on this journey, you'll never look back, because you'll never be the same. The person you start off on this 12-week journey will not be the same when you finish at 12 weeks. You will have a magazine. You will have a community, a mastermind of people complementing your business, people you know, like, and trust. You'll walk into a presentation with your chest out, with confidence. And when you do that, your ideal prospect sees that and wants to do business with you, because you're intentionally bringing a system, a magazine where they can add more value. You can add more value to your ideal prospect. And it's all about value. You give more value than the other person or the other option, you always win. So if you want to go on a 12-week journey with us, sign up right there. And if you, like I was just sharing with Brian Bass about Growth Day, because he just heard on the Ed Milet and Brendan Bouchard show, you want to try it for 7 days? Go to petekane.me/growth day. And then email us at support@petekane.me, and I'll send you my course, Mindset, Goals, and Habits. That way we can get this mind right, learn to set goals with deadlines, and habits create outcomes. Good habits, good outcome. Bad habits, bad outcome. So it's so important to establish yourself. So look, clarity, energy, courage, productivity, influence, physiology mastery, psychology mastery, productivity mastery, persuasion mastery, purpose mastery, and a commitment to high performance. You'll never be the same. Go through this 12-week transformation with us. You will walk with confidence. You will walk with, you've got the tools to conquer, to win. And you want to win this year. This is the biggest year of our life. And if you are on the front end of this and you understand all these trends that are happening and you're taking advantage, you're developing your leadership, you're developing your influence, you're becoming more productive, you're more courageous, you have more energy, you have clarity because you've been journaling and you understand the importance of it. And you're as clear as you could see through a glass pane. And you know where you're going. And when you know where you're going, it's a beautiful feeling. So if you need to connect up with our community, you can go to petekane.me/connect. We do a lot of ways for you to connect to our community. We do a live event. That's the 4th Saturday in Kennesaw. We do a virtual event, the 1st and 3rd Friday, where we have 10 speakers. 15 talks, 5 minutes, 3 points, 5 minutes, 3 points. And you can be invited to that. That way you learn how to share your story, your pitch, your presentation, but do it precisely and simplify. We don't have all the time in the world to hear from you. That's why your pitch, when you're doing an elevator pitch, you got to work on it. It's got to be 10 seconds. People don't have the attention span that they used to. And even if they do, you got to be respectful of their time. Their time is valuable, so is yours. They can't listen to you for 5 minutes because you have not worked on your pitch. You got to work on it, work on it, work on it. And when you go back to, let me see, I think I can go back to, yes. Oh, there's my buddy calling. Go back to 7-11-4. Thank you so much. Be bold, make a difference, and have fun.